Howdy doozle everybody. Today we're going to be taking a look at Child of Light, a brand new release by Ubisoft Montreal and published by Ubisoft, just released on April 30th. It is currently available on Microsoft Windows, Wii U, Xbox One, Xbox 360, PS4, PS3. You've literally got no excuse but to check this game out. But without further ado, let's take a quick look, shall we? Alrighty, what is going on everybody? My name is Blitzwinger and my oh my, welcome back to another video right here on the Blitzwinger YouTube channel. Today, we're going to be diving into the beautiful and absolutely spectacular world of Child of Light. So we're going to go ahead and click X. I'm going to start a brand new game to show you guys kind of a bit of a storyline background of where this game starts and such. And I have to say, this is a very, very unique experience.
Tuck yourself in bed and let me tell a story of Lemuria, a long-lost kingdom, and a girl born for glory. In Austria was a crown land ruled by a duke. Aurora was his daughter, child of a duchess mysterious, beloved by her father. He raised the girl alone. They were rarely apart, till the duke felt lonely and misplaced his heart. It was the Great Friday before Easter 1895. Players performed for the Duke, his new bride at his side. That night, Aurora went to sleep. The fire burned down low. She caught a chill that spread. Her skin was cold as snow. At dawn they found her, vacant, Aurora's light gone out. Her father wept and pleaded, but there could be no doubt. For all intents and purposes, Aurora was dead. And yet, once upon a time, she awoke in a strange land instead.
And that's where we get control of Aurora. So honestly, of course, as you can see, the storyline is, it's got very much kind of dark undertones and dark themes to it, but at the same time, this game does such a great job of using music and visuals to keep things very hopeful throughout the entire game, which is really cool, and I love that kind of theme for the game. I also very much enjoy the fact that this is a JRPG experience, and we'll get to the actual like kind of combat and such that was made by Ubisoft Montreal. So this is a JRPG experience that is made in Canada. Now, of course, if you guys don't know, I am from Canada, so I'm very proud of the team at Ubisoft Montreal for pulling off such a fantastic game. I mean, it's been getting ridiculously good reviews so far, and it's definitely one of those big indie games. It's hard to call it an indie game, I guess, because it's made by Ubisoft, but still, it's really amazing that the team there managed to pull off such a really spectacular experience. And honestly, I wanted to take a look at the kind of storyline aspect there, just so that we could kind of set up a bit of a theme going so far in terms of where the story will be headed and where we will carry on. But for now, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut ahead and basically discuss the actual mechanics of the game in terms of actual like battling system and such as well. But overall, I definitely hope that you got a bit of a idea of what is this world in terms of how we got here. And obviously, I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm trying to keep this video very much spoiler-free so that people who go into this experience can experience it freely and without going about spoiling any key elements about the storyline. So that being said, let's go ahead and cut ahead just a couple of actually 2 chapters I think ahead, and see some combat, shall we guys? Alrighty guys, so now we're a little bit further in the game itself, and I have to say that of course, by first impressions, as I was saying, that the game seems to have a bit of a kind of, you know, darker themes and such, but at the same time, it does such an excellent job just through its music and the art style and everything to still have this kind of a feeling of hope throughout, which is quite cool. As far as controls work, you get to control this other character here, which I believe his name is Igniculus. I believe it says it right here. Where is it? Yeah, it is Igniculus. And basically, the way that this works is that this character has a functionality of kind of helping you solve a lot of different puzzles and such, and he he kind of like aids you in battle. He's not a very offensive character, but he's definitely going to be very, very useful in battles, which you will see in just a moment. He can also obviously light things up and such, which is quite handy. Now, one other thing that I wanted to showcase is that the game has an absolutely crazy skill tree system right here, as you can see. So there is a lot of depth to this game, and this truly is a JRPG level of experience. This really is incredible that a company, you know, in Montreal, Ubisoft Montreal, is able to replicate quite a fantastic JRPG-like experience, which is quite cool. In fact, I didn't waste one of my skill points here, just to show you obviously how this works. It's quite simplistic, it's quite understandable here, but still, basically we've got different types of upgrades, whether it be defensive upgrades, offensive upgrades, etc, etc, etc. And as you go along, obviously you're going to go ahead and every time you level up, you'll earn another skill point to put into your skill tree, and then obviously make your character a little bit stronger. So for example, a powerful light attack with 10% chance of killing a targeted dark creature instantly. Ooh, that sounds quite cool. So let's go ahead and grab that, shall we? Alright, then there's also a system of oculi, which is basically a way to upgrade yourself. Now the cool thing is that not only can you upgrade, you can also craft brand new oculi, and they do give you some recipes right here for how to craft those particular pieces, which is quite cool. In fact, for example, I've crafted the rough amethyst, which was quite cool. And the other thing that I love about this oculi system is very, very nice, is the fact that you can actually equip it to different types of equipment. For example, right now I just equipped the rough sapphire to our chest plate. Now you can do that to the, I'm assuming that's kind of like your magical abilities, or also to your weapon, which is quite cool. So there's like, your one item can have different effects based on what it is that you equip it to, which is quite a cool concept. The other thing that takes a little bit of time getting used to in this game is the fact that you're controlling the like your main character, Aurora, with the left stick, and it's really hard for me to pronounce that name, Igniculus, but Igniculus you control with the right stick. And at first it does take a little bit of time and it's a bit challenging, but when you get a hold of it and you really kind of mess around with it a bit, you really get a nice feel for it, and it actually starts being really fun, and you kind of think to yourself, why don't more games use that? I know that, I believe Brothers used that before, but there are other games that have done it. This is not the first game that has done it ever, but this game does it very, very well as well. Okay, so you see these are the puzzle bits of the game where you're going to have to use basically Igniculus and his light up ability to, for example, in this scenario, what we're trying to do is shine down the lights. So for example, well, it looks like we're going to need to figure out a way to actually pull down on those strings here, which is quite cool. Again, that's kind of one of those things that I love about the what is it called? The fact that the game has a lot of really cool puzzle elements, which is quite lovely, and it was a really nice surprise, honestly, because I was expecting pretty much a completely JRPG experience, whereas this game does a great job of keeping things fresh and whoops. Okay, so you see, then we're going to come over here, and you can see the little green light that appears, and then we're going to light the green jewel using that. There we are. Very nice. Bam! All right. Oh my goodness. So it looks like it's time for quite a bit of a challenge. Oh my. Okay, so this will showcase the fighting system, how the fighting system works. Now, as you can see, so first of all, wait, let me just show you here. So first off, we've got different options in terms of what we want to do. We can definitely slash. We can use now one of our magical abilities, which is Light Ray. We also have the ability to defend, which is very, very important. But the way that your buddy here works, the way that Igniculus works, is the fact that you're going to try to blind the enemy. And what you do is, by blinding them, you can see the little tier down at the bottom here, this little bar over here. And this bar, as you can see, this shows you the two enemies, and then it shows us. So at this point right here, this line is when the enemy is going to cast its attack, and the fulfillment of the attack will happen over here. Now, if we manage to hit an enemy at the time at which, basically, in the time period when they're within this red area, Then we're gonna do what's called interrupted, and we will interrupt their attack, basically making them reset. They're not gonna reset all the way at the beginning, but they'll reset somewhere around here, which obviously means that we would be in quite a good situation. So that's exactly what we're gonna attempt to do here. Is I'm gonna try to blind this fella here, but again, I want to be smart about how I time this. So I'm gonna go ahead and slash him, and then watch. You see? So now that made him bounce all the way back there. And now I'm gonna try to be quick enough about landing another blow on the enemy here before he manages to do so to us. Yep, there we go, perfect. You see? So we managed to actually keep one of them back, which is quite good. And I shall go ahead and I kind of want to use Light Ray just to see how well that will fare. Okay, we managed to dodge that, which was quite lucky. Uh-oh. Okay, so now we need to collect wishes. The way that we do that is by hitting these plants, and you usually get 2 of those plants per level. Oh, man. Okay, there we go. That hurt. That hurt quite a bit. Okay, this is not good. This is not good at all. Okay, so let's try to hit that fellow over there. This is one of those main fights, and there we go. So we've defeated one of them. One of these big statues is now down. Let's see. So we're going to try to cast this in such a way where we will interrupt his attack. There we go. Lovely. So he is vulnerable to light, which is doing plenty of damage. So now we got to collect some more wishes, as you can see, adding a bit of more difficulty. And obviously, like, I'll be honest with you guys, it takes time to get used to the battle system a little bit, but once you get it going, it's really, really engaging in terms of, like, you have to worry about several different things. And yes, on one hand, you could say, well, that's somewhat overwhelming. It seems that way, but when you start delving into it, it's actually really cool in terms of the fact that, like, what I love about it is the fact that it's not simple, but it's not insanely complex. It's like right in the sweet spot of kind of, you know, where it doesn't get tedious because it is turn-based combat, but because you have this other element of where you can kind of, you know, time your attacks properly and figure out when should you attack in order to take advantage and try to interrupt your enemy's attacks, that adds a whole different element of strategy that you don't typically see in a turn-based RPG. At least in my mind, you don't. And as you can see, if you play your cards right, you can literally plan ahead to such a point where the enemy will not hit you at any point in time. You see? Look at this. Bam! We just keep sending him back, and he didn't even get one shot on us ever since we knocked out his buddy there. And we also got to level up, which is quite lovely indeed. We earned ourselves a skill point and a brand new item known as the Magic Stardust. Now let's take a look at the beautiful art here. Do its thing, because it's pretty gosh darn gorgeous. Now, as you can see, there is no voiceovers, but the writing is very simple. Like, there's not long sentences, so that's really cool because it doesn't get boring. You know, a lot of JRPGs have that element of there's so much content that it's just really difficult to keep up with.
Sequined valleys and peaks of white. And at night, ruined castles glowed with alabaster light. From the stars in the crescent moon, a queen of light ruled this rambling place. Each night she walked the palace alone, her luminosity dawn's own face. Until one night there was no trace. The queen had vanished, and with her the light. Dark resided in its place. The usurper, Umbra, hid from sight. She sent her daughters in her stead. The sun, the stars, and the crescent moon. They pilfered from the sky, extinguished them with the monsoon. Then Umbra's dark creatures conquered the land. Our lives soon snuffed out by a wave of her hand.
All right, so there you go, pretty much. Like, I don't want to dive too much into the story. I kind of want to keep that both a secret for myself and for you guys as well without spoiling it. But honestly, as you can see, it's got a very, very unique art style. As I said before, it does a really great job of keeping its storyline somewhat darker, on the darker side of things, kind of, you know, where you're not quite sure what is going on. You think that there are a lot of kind of dark tones and darker themes to the game, but then the way that it's presented, the art style, the music is just phenomenal so far. Like, as much as I've played of it, and I've actually got another save file and on my other profile where I've played farther down the line, the boss fights get crazy, like really, really crazy. And honestly, it's the music only gets better, and it's just a really great game in terms of balancing being a JRPG and taking a lot of the kind of core components of a JRPG, but then at the same time kind of, updating some of those things and taking like a turn-based system, but then adding a few different mechanics to it. Or your exploration is really incentivized by giving you more puzzles. And things like that, I think, really allow it to be a very unique experience and something that I've really, really enjoyed to delve into and really have had quite a bit of fun with it indeed. But that being said, of course, if you want to check out Child of Light, definitely check the link in the description box below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Of course, smash that like button, share the video with your family and friends, favorite the videos as well, and of course, I'll catch you folks next time. Have a fantastic day. Thank you so very much for watching, and I'll see you later, alligators. Thanks for watching, guys.